What do you think, guys? Are we going to get this Santa Claus rally over the holiday period? We're going to analyze the market step by step together, and there's a new TV program. It's a crypto TV program, and I'm excited to show you the trailer at the end, so stay tuned. And before we know if the crypto market's going to run, we need to analyze the charts. There's 5 different charts here that I'm going to show you that correlate with each other, that give us a gauge of sentiment, that give us clues as to whether something's likely to run, whether something's at support, at resistance, and one of these moves first, it gives you a gauge in sentiment as to whether the other one is going to follow. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the Bitcoin chart. Now, what can you see on the Bitcoin chart here? We're at a resistance level. This resistance level is sitting between 43,753 and the top end 44,691. So ultimately what we need is a break and a close, and for this to act as support on the Bitcoin chart. Now, how do we know if this is going to happen? Can we look and find clues in other markets? That's exactly what we can do. And one thing that we could do is look at the DXY. The DXY is the dollar trading against another bag of fiat currencies, including the pound, the Japanese yen, the Canadian dollar, and others. So it's got a bag of currencies trading against the dollar. And why we use the DXY is as the dollar, the DXY is getting weaker, that means people are coming out of the dollar and going more on risk. So when people are going out of the dollar on more on risk, they're going into speculative assets, and cryptocurrency is one of those speculative assets. So we can look at the dollar, the DXY, and we can see that it's nearing a support band. This support band's at 100. So as the DXY pulls back, you expect resistance on Bitcoin at this point. So we're at a resistance point on Bitcoin. We're at a support point nearly on the DXY. So we're waiting and we're watching what this DXY does. And if it pulls back at this support band and gets some kind of support confirmation from this area, you would expect a pullback in the Bitcoin chart. So that's what we can look out for on Bitcoin. Right, the other thing is the USDT dominance. Similar to the Dixie, it's the strength in the dollar, but it's the strength in the stablecoin USDT. So this is at a strong support at 5.65, and it's had a huge downturn. And as this has had a huge downturn, this is people selling USDT into cryptocurrency. And you can see that by looking at Total 3. Total 3's broken out, hit support, and then continued its way up, just as we said it was going to in the last video. So Total 3 is looking good. We're at a support band on Total 3. It's created a new higher high. That's positive. What about the Bitcoin dominance, and how does that correlate? Because the Bitcoin dominance, what you want is a pullback. You want it to drop past this support band and act as resistance and make a move to the downside. And what that's doing is meaning that the altcoins are running in comparison to Bitcoin. The Bitcoin dominance tells you whether the dominance in the big daddy Bitcoin is strong against the rest of the cryptocurrencies. So with Total 3, like we just said, Total 3 is running, Bitcoin dominance is slightly coming down. You want to see a drop in the Bitcoin dominance of this support zone here, resistance, Total 3 can continue its merry way to the top. And now I promised you this trailer. I'm so excited. I've seen it on Raoul Paul's LinkedIn, and this means that crypto's going mainstream. If this is not mainstream, I don't know what it is, guys, but take a look yourself and tell me what you think in the comments.
The GameStop trade happened 2 weeks after the storming of the Capitol building. That is the start of the story.
I think we're approaching a social collapse. This could have broken Wall Street and the entire system.
The American dream is still a thing. I will call it a digital dream now.
There's an entire generation of people who grew up on memes.
They're comfortable losing all of that year's savings on one bet, because that's the world of gaming that they've grown up in. We can live entirely in a digital world. That in itself is incredibly empowering. This is the start of the avatar revolution.
There is now enough people that they can move markets.
We have the power to do anything that we want.
There is this herd mentality, the mob forms. Normal rules of society stop applying.
Whenever any of these groups hit a fever pitch, this anarchist utopia comes out. We'll be better off if we take down whatever our target is.
This is a war that we're in, and we might not come back.
Enter crypto.
I'm getting into crypto.
Crypto, it's kind of like an ant colony. You just can't stop it from happening.
You'd have to go in and control the flow of electricity.
I think you would have to make it illegal.
Dogecoin, what the hell is Dogecoin?
69 days later, I became a millionaire.
It feels like a chance to have a leveling of the playing field.
you really have is a bunch of people coming together in a short-term way for short-term gain.
The concern is it could be a house of cards.
The real insurrection happened when 300,000 people decided to take on Wall Street. They were the ones who had real power.
The government is allowing this to happen.
You're not going to feed the serfs. Serfs are going to uprise.
We don't need someone else telling us how to live.
This is a historic moment.
This genie doesn't go back in the bottle. This is the new normal.
Let's take it to the limit.